G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS Supercoach channel. And today we're going to go through the best value options for point guard and shooting guards in NBA Supercoach. Yeah, it's in the title in the video. I don't know what more I was going to say after that, but yeah, these guys aren't technical. It's like some of them can be primo, some of them, most of them won't be. So it's just value for money. Teams change and game plans change, so potentially any of these guys that I'm going to mention, I don't have a tier list of like which are the best options. I've just got players that I feel like would be good options, and I could probably compare them towards the end. I haven't really done much organising for that part, but I've just got a list of players I want to talk about that I think are going to be good value. So we'll start off with the obvious, Josh Giddey. So I would have mentioned in the point guard and small forward video, but in the back end of last year's season where Zach LaVine and left and DeMar DeRozan's gone, it went up to 34 average is what I heard. So if we go to his season stats last year, I want to see is there a way I can see is this it? No. So this was last season's. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Back end of the year. 53, 31, 33, 28, 21, 11, 32, 36, 48, 36, 35. Like, look at these. From week 18 to week 23. I mean, you could even go to week 16, I think. Yeah, so from week 16 onwards, because we're counting this 40 here, like these two, with 40 and 42, 46, like that's where he really bumped up in his price because he started off at 10 and went up 5.3 altogether or something like that. So you can see that back end of the year. I wish I had the actual average for myself, but that's why I think Josh Giddey would be good. And I don't have him. I did have him in my original, my second made up team. But the reason why I don't have him is because I was watching the channel, the Insight Fantasy Sports podcast and YouTube channel, and they had another guy, which was I'll probably get to him next, is Donovan Mitchell. I've only got him in front of Giddey because of the first week. If we have a look here, the Bulls have a 2, but then they have 4 the week after, whereas Cleveland have a 3 and 4. Excuse me. Then 3, 4, 4. So Cleveland actually do have a better start than Chicago if you just want to compare those two. As much as Cleveland have 2 more 2s in this back third of the season. Whereas past game week, not game week 9, it's not soccer. After week 9, you can go for Giddey. I reckon he'll be really good before he shoots up his price. And you could probably make that swap over from Donovan Mitchell to Giddey in that week 9 bracket, because then you don't have to trade Giddey for the rest of the season unless he gets injured. Whereas you've got 3 more 2s for Donovan Mitchell compared to the 0 with Josh Giddey. So that's why I've got Donovan Mitchell. He'll be that first 9 weeks of the NBA season, and then I'll probably switch to Giddey. But yeah, the reason why I want to put Donovan Mitchell here is the podcast that I listened to was really insightful. So apparently he averages more, and I don't want to come off as I'm copying them, but I'll say it very briefly. Pretty much he played a bit of point guard role when Garland went out, and his averages have gone up. So he averaged 23.3. Was there a time period? Let's check this together. When was Darius Garland injured? We can find this one's to load. I was wanted to see what weeks he missed. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 15, 16, 17, 18. Right, so we basically played all the whole year. Okay. Oh no, that's the upcoming fixture. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Um, Ignore me. What am I doing? Okay, I just had a brain fart. So we played 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so from wait, they played the whole year. Is that 82? Oh my god, am I stupid? Well, he played all three of them, and played all three. Okay, I'm obviously not smart in the head. Maybe it was another year that they mentioned. Okay, ignore me on that one. So my point was, I think it still stands because I can trust those blokes and their takes there. He's going to have an extended like playmaking role, and if he's going to average more than what it is now, which was last year, which was 23, I reckon easily he'll go back up to that $17 million mark where he could probably average 20 points, like 6 assists maybe, and a couple rebounds. That's easily like 30 points there, which is really good. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell's number 2 there. Next guy on my list, I've got Derek White. With Jason Tatum being out for the whole year, there's more opportunity and possessions for guys to have. So Jalen Brown will obviously, like, you could argue that he's a guy you could go for. I don't mind the idea that you would go for him. I like, there's just a cheaper option in my opinion. I know it's like 1.3 mil difference, but it's actually quite a bit. But I also think that Derek White's usage is going to go up a lot more. I think he averaged like 16, like around 4 and 4 or 5 and 5. So like pretty decent. It could go up to 20 points, and it could go up to like having the ball being in his hands a bit more, um, with a couple rebounds. He gets blocks for a guard, which is really good. But on the topic of Celtics here, I just want to talk about the other ones. So Anthony Simons, 16.7. Um, I'm just personally not going to go with Anthony Simons just because he doesn't have the defensive contributions as much as like White and Pritchard. Like they play good on defense. They can get both of them can get a steal. Sorry, Derek White can get blocks, whereas Anthony Simons I feel like can be a bit of a streaky shooter. That's just me not watching much Portland basketball, but it's going to be a bit tight with these three of the rotation. I'm going to assume that it's going to be a starting lineup of Brown at the small forward, White at the shooting guard, and either Simons or Pritchard. But then you'll have, let's say Pritchard comes off the bench, he's still going to play like 20 minutes. So it's not terrible, but it could be better. But the safe option for me, or to go for, is Derek White over these two, Simons and Pritchard. Let's just get off Boston for now. Next bloke I had on my list is going to be all the way down here. And I do have on my team, so it should be easy to see. Reed Shepherd. Now, I'll just double check if they've played recently, but obviously Fred VanVleet's out for the year. And what I've gathered from, watching or listening, like just keeping up with the NBA last year, is that he just wasn't performing as well as he could have, I think. Or like, because considering he's the third pick. Jesus. Sorry, I'm just waiting for my phone to load. I'm just trying to find last time Houston played. Can't be this long ago. What? Like last week. Um, they had him starting. So he played 25 minutes here. That kind of looks like, just looking at the lineup there, they're playing their full team, it looks like. So they've got Reed Shepherd, Thompson, they have Durant and Jabari Smith and Şengün. That's probably their starting lineup, I reckon. So Reed Shepherd with 25 minutes there. I think that's probably where he'll like have his minutes. So I think for 4 million, it's perfect value for NBA Supercoach. Next blokes I'll talk about are the Indiana guards. So you've got two here. That's not Tyrese Halliburton. It's Andrew Nemhard. So starting, he had a good finals last year, and so same with TJ McConnell as well. Like both of these guys played really well and stepping up when Tyrese wasn't there, and McConnell just putting the team on his back for certain times. But I think it's good value because 14.5 is literally just points. And I reckon his playmaking will go up as well as like Pascal Siakam will have the ball in his hand a bit more. But with Tyrese Halliburton basically having the ball at every possession that Indiana had, that's going to, and not all it's going to go to Siakam. So you got to, pay attention and go, okay, well, TJ McConnell and Andrew Nemhard will take the other half, which is still quite a bit. And I reckon it'll go up to at least 20. So I reckon I don't have him on my team, but the only thing that I worry about is that the more opportunity he gets is he shoots more and he probably gets, I don't know if nerves or anything, not in the mind of an NBA player, but who knows? Like he might not average as much as we want to. TJ McConnell, probably I'm going to pass on him. I did put him on my list just in case, but yeah, I just wouldn't go with that route. Oh, excuse me. Next bloke on the list that I've got written down. Oh my god, excuse me. Where is he? Also a $9 million player is D'Angelo Russell. So I'll just find Dallas's last game. Well, they're playing the Jazz as I'm recording this, and it's halftime. He's not playing. It says that Cooper Flagg's a point guard. What? Hopefully, Russell is not injured. So against the Hornets here, he played 22 minutes, so 7 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Was there another time that Dallas played? It would have been handy to know like a bit more of a realistic stat line. Come on, sorry. Once again, not very prepared, am I? Here we go. Played the Thunder. He had 15 minutes here, so 5, 2, and 5. Shot 1 for 3. I think he's their starting point guard for 9 mil. He's going to be playmaking a bit more often. He's got your number one scoring option is Anthony Davis, and then you've also got like an equal second of D'Lo, Clay, Flagg, and Derek Lively. So any of those shots can go to any of them, which means I feel like D'Angelo Russell will have the opportunity to get more assists out of that. So I reckon he's a pretty decent option. I don't have him because my current team has guys that I want to keep for the whole year and guys that I want to like rookies and then value options. So I'm kind of guaranteeing myself with some of these like guys that I'm keeping for the whole year. For example, Giannis, which you've seen, and I've added another guy as well. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment with that. Now, this one I didn't get inspiration from. I just saw it and I was like, oh, he seems a bit cheaper than, than I feel like he should be. And I feel like he's going to get opportunity, and that's Marcus Smart. An average of 10.8. I know he's not a scorer. I reckon, like, with the injury of, like, LeBron James being gone, I feel surely he'll have 20-minute games. It looks like he was injured last year, so that's probably why his price has tanked quite a bit. But I reckon he's probably a decent option. Like for 6 mil, if you can't find a guy, I feel like Marcus Smart's not too bad. I could probably have a look on my phone with Marcus Smart's like previous, how many games he played. Did he play against the Warriors yesterday? Hopefully, so it'd be easier for me to find his name here. I didn't watch the game, which, as you can tell, no, it didn't play. Great. How did we lose to that team? I mean, we didn't have Steph. um, oh goodness, mate. Let me just find Marcus Smart real quick. But yeah, I think like I said, I feel like his minutes are going to like not go up essentially, but he'll be more valued. Like he's looking at this roster, like Doncic and Reeves are your starting point guard and shooting guard, and then you got Dalton Connect. I think Smart's in front of him, and then the rest of these blokes. I think Smart's your number one guy coming off the bench, really. Um, sorry, my phone's loading, but well, I guess while I'm waiting for that, actually, no, it's just loaded. Oh, maybe I need to put my data on. Sorry. So he averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists last year. Oh my god! Can I please just see his stats from last year? Um, was he on 3 different teams? Who was he on? Toronto. Oh my god. Okay, well I'm having a look at this. He played around 20 minutes in last year. The year before was around 30. That was his first year at Memphis and at Boston. Um, okay, I'm really sorry. So 19 plus 50, 15 is 34. So we played about 68 games last year. And I don't think he played the rest of the year or something like that. But okay, well, I reckon his averages might go up then. Sorry that took way too long to find out what he was like. I thought he was injured, so I'm obviously wrong on that. But I reckon he's not a bad option for 6.7 mil. Next bloke I've got, this is probably just going to be easy for me rather than just scrolling down. Where's Portland? Is probably Scoot Henderson. It's his third year. Yep, third year. Average 14. Like, surely he's going to improve. You'd think. I'll have a look if there's any, like, if he's starting or have they even played full stop? Because I haven't actually seen. There we go. They played the Kings. Um, well, he didn't play, but they had Drew Holiday starting with Shaden Sharp and a Denny of Deha. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can try and get him in because I always he was going to start, but you know, but maybe he's an option. Or like Drew Holiday, like one of these two. I feel won't be too bad. More than maybe not to the standard of 15.7, but I think Scoot will definitely improve. So I think he's not a bad option in my opinion. No, I don't want to watch the highlights of this game. Sorry. Next guy I've got on my list is from the Miami Heat, Norman Powell. So I think I read somewhere that Tyler Hero's injured, or heard through the grapevine. He didn't play, and he's starting. They had like their starting lineup was Andrew Wiggins, Bam, Khalil Ware, Norman Powell, and Drew Smith against Atlanta in that OT game yesterday. Oh no, technically today actually. Sorry. Did they play again? Because I kind of want to see if he played a lot of minutes. Because he's going to be starting, and I feel like for 11 mil, you can get better. But I think like who's cheaper and I think's better. Derek White's at a very similar price. You might as well just go with him. Reed Shepherd, I would probably go just for value wise. Not necessarily going to be scoring more. Um, I'd rather go Nemhard and Russell. Wouldn't say Smart or Henderson, but you've got options in front of him. So and he's gonna have the ball more than he did in LA Clippers. So that's why I've just had him there because of the podcast I listened to. Next bloke I've got is from the Washington Wizards, and that's CJ McCollum at 11 mil. So at 11.6 mil, starting point guard, shooting guards, bunch of young guys. The ball's going to be in his hand a lot. I feel like 11 mil is not too bad. I think he will take on that playmaking role just to like be that kind of veteran guy. So weird that he's in a Washington jersey, but I think he won't be too bad. I think he's a better option than Norman Powell and like Scoot Henderson and Marcus Smart. maybe D'Lo and Nemhard. But yeah, I feel like at 11 mil, it's not bad for him. Like and for 18.8, like his prime was probably him averaging around 20 points. Where was his? Well, let's do here. So 22 point and a half, and that was in the COVID season. So or the year after, but excuse me. Um, I reckon it'll go up. I think it'll go up personally. I don't really have much of an explanation for him, but yeah. Next guy slash guys I've got is from the Bucks. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. and it's Kevin Porter Jr. and Cole Anthony. So it's really who's going to start out of either of them. That Milwaukee team, if you just say Giannis isn't on that team, that's a horrible looking team. I don't know what Milwaukee have done, but it seems like they're starting not Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter Jr. Um, the game against Detroit, he started, played just under 14 minutes, but I'm going to see if there's some other games I could kind of fall back on. This Bulls game, maybe. Like he played 23 minutes, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. So he's going to be a bit of a playmaker. It's unfortunate that the scoring is for rebounds and assists are the same, whereas I feel like assists should be one more than rebounding. So it's for and then how many turnovers did he have? Because he got the ball in his hand. No turnovers. Okay, I feel like he's not a bad option. He's pretty good for just under 8 mil. And Cole Anthony, if Kevin Porter Jr. ever gets injured, which I hope he doesn't, don't wish any injury on any bloke. But if he does get injured, Cole Anthony's really good for just like 7 mil on the dot, basically. I reckon that's pretty good. Um, Last but not least, take this one with a grain of salt. I had it like ages ago in this list. I can't find the team. It's Nikola Topic, but I wouldn't. I'm not going to go for him. I had him originally because I was like, oh, a lot of people had him, and not really really thinking that deep. But who's in front of him? Shea, Williams, Wiggins is not a shooting guard. He's more of a small forward, power forward. Casey Wallace, Caruso, Gwentz Dort, Isaiah Joe, and even Kendrick Williams potentially. I just wouldn't go Nikola Topic at all. I don't care that he's 3.5 mil and he's technically a rookie this year. He's not going to be playing minutes, and if he does, it's going to be around like 9 minutes. He's going to be playing jump time. He's going to be playing jump time or like 2 minutes to the end of the second quarter or like in the middle of the third quarter when it's not that relevant in the game. So take that one with a grain of salt, in my opinion. So that's all the guys that I've got written down at the moment. Let me know if you think I've missed anyone. I think a good option, honestly, now that I'm looking at it, is Luka Doncic. And I know you're going to say he's not a valued option. He's 19 million. I know, fair enough. But LeBron's not playing, and I feel like he's going to have an average more than a 31.3 average, with more opportunity to get rebounds. With LeBron not being there and more assist options, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. It's not like the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton where they have another one of him where it's just going to go all onto him. Like it'll be evenly spread out between Pacers players, whereas the Lakers are going to play him about 40 minutes a night. I hope so, and he's going to average more than 31. I want to see if I can try and get in my team, but I also don't want to get rid of Cade Cunningham. I don't want to swap Cade Cunningham because I love him, but it might be the case where I'm like, yeah, I might swap Cade for Doncic, in my opinion. But yeah, that's in my opinion the most valued point guard shooting guards. Let me know if I've missed anyone or you think any of those guys aren't options. I'm very open to it and tell me your reasons why. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I'll be posting the best valued small forward and power forwards and centers in the next couple of days. So yeah, thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.